I am a first-generation lawyer. No one in my family has entered the legal field. I do come from a family of successful business people. Both of my parents, have done very well in their careers, but no one's been a lawyer. And my grandfather always boasts about it and tells me how much his buttons are popping off of his, shirt because I went to law school and because I became a lawyer. And it really feels good. But I am absolutely a first generation lawyer. I did not have anybody that had gone to law school before that was really able to coach me through the process of law school and becoming a lawyer. I wish I was coached through every step of the way as I went through law school. I think that law school is an entirely different animal, as is any graduate program, as is going to college. If you don't have anybody that had gone through the process before you, it's very difficult. It's the unknown. When you have somebody that's gone through it. My parents went to college. They coached me on the do's and the don'ts of going to school. Make sure you study, don't party too hard. Make sure you build good relationships with your teachers and a good study group. All of those things, I did not have anybody that could really coach me through, these are the steps that you need to take in order to be successful in law school. I, of course, knew I needed to work hard, but in terms of, getting on a journal, trying out for law review, making sure I did a clinic, making sure I had the right, clerkship or internship. I really didn't have guidance through any of that, and I think that it would have been very beneficial to me if I did. I definitely saw how it was beneficial to other students who did have parents or aunts or uncles who had gone through law school already. Because I didn't have the resources in the home, I certainly reached out to everybody that I could. I had certain professors where I felt like I could, had built enough of a relationship with them that I could really turn to them and ask them for guidance. As I started interning, I found lawyers, practicing attorneys that worked at the, places where I was interning that I could really rely on for support, that I could call up and ask, questions about, what do you think about this writing sample? And, what do you think my next move should be in terms of really securing some solid employment after I get out of law school? So I really had to build my own resources. I had to figure out, who I could talk to and, what books I needed to read and, what my next steps were, but just really by leaning on the community. The community that I built one person at a time, the community that I built, through my internships, through, figuring out which professors I could really talk to, and honestly, also through some of my friends. I do have friends that have parents or, again, aunts and uncles that have gone through the law school process that I could ask questions to. I feel like, there were certain individuals at the school that I could tell they knew what they were doing and they knew which steps they needed to take in order to land the crazy, amazing job at the end of the day. And so I certainly had all eyes and all ears open as I went through the process. So my next job came about kind of, through a similar track. I had a friend that works at my current company, and she had caught wind while she was at the company that the team that I'm on now was looking to hire an attorney. And I got very lucky that they were interested in bringing somebody on that was a little bit more green. At this point, I had only had a couple years out of law school experience. And I reached out to the woman that she had put me in contact with, and that was probably in October. So in October, I kind of unofficially/officially applied for the job. By January, they had, been in communication with me and saying that, we really think we want to bring you on board. I received my offer not too long after the new year, and I started in February. When I got the offer to work as in-house counsel for a major company as a first-generation student, I quite honestly could not believe it. I felt like I had won. I felt like, all the hard work, all the blood, sweat, and tears had paid off. And, quite honestly, to this day, I've been with the company for a year and a half at this point. To this day, I still can't believe it. I walk around and, there's a lot of accolades walking around the building, people who are, fourth, fifth, sixth generation law student, people who went to the very top law schools. And I feel so proud to be in the same room, and I feel very accomplished, and I feel like I did it. If somebody were to want to follow in my footsteps, I would tell them, the first thing that they need to do is really focus on, or think about what it is that they really want to do. I knew going into law school that I wanted to be an intellectual property attorney. Through my broadcast journalism education in undergrad, I had to take a media law class, and that's where I really first started to learn about, IP as a concept, as a practice area. And, I think that focus allowed me to get where I am today. I think if I wasn't focused, if I really didn't know what type of law I wanted to practice, it would have been a little bit more difficult. And I would say, not everybody knows right out of, at the jump, at the start of the gate, that what type of law they want to practice. But I think, try everything. The day I graduated law school was an amazing day. I really could not believe that I had made it. I was so excited. It was kind of surreal, as it was happening. You're excited, it's happening. You're wearing the, funny cap that they give you when you get your Juris Doctor. And, it was all very exciting. But again, it was a little surreal. And then knowing that the bar exam was, looming around the corner was a little crazy. But it was amazing. My family, I come from a very supportive family, and everybody showed up. Aunts, uncles, cousins, my friends came that I grew up with in Maryland, and it was one of the best moments of my life to date. If I had to talk to myself, or was able to talk to myself in the moments that I found most challenging, in the moments where I was down, in the moments where I was doubtful of myself, I would tell myself, hold on. I would tell myself, hold on. I would tell myself that it's gonna pay off, that it's worth it, that you can do it, and that it's gonna be okay. It's not the end. The last chapter has not been written yet, so it's gonna be okay. Keep working, keep doing good, keep studying, and, in the end, you will get where you want to be. No matter if you have to take a different route, no matter if you have to take an extra course, no matter if you have to invest a little bit more money, you will get where you want to be, and it's going to be okay.